The city had a rhythm all its own, a steady pulse of traffic lights, car horns, and hurried footsteps. For Victoria, it was just another Wednesday morning, and she was already running late. Her coat was pulled tight against the autumn chill, coffee mug in hand and briefcase swinging at her side as she hustled towards the bus stop. The number 42 bus rolled up with a hiss of brakes and squeal of doors. Victoria stepped aboard, nodding politely to the bus driver before scanning for a seat. The bus was crowded but manageable. Most commuters were buried in phones or earbuds, lost in their own worlds. She spotted an empty seat near the back and began weaving her way back down the aisle when a voice stopped her in her tracks. "Excuse me," barked a sharp voice. Victoria turned, and immediately her heart sank. The speaker was an older woman, likely in her 60s, dressed in a crispy pressed beige coat and shiny patterned shoes, her hair perfectly coiffed, as if she had spent the morning primping instead of hurrying like everyone else. She had added half a bottle of perfume to her person, it seemed. "You there! Can you move your bag? It's in my way." Victoria glanced down. Her briefcase was pressed lightly against the side of the seat. "Oh, sorry, I'll "Don't oh sorry me," the woman snapped. "Some of us actually appreciate proper manners." She sniffed, wrinkling her nose as if Victoria's mere presence offended her. Victoria sighed, but moved her bag. "There. Okay." The woman muttered, scanning Victoria as if evaluating a crime scene. "You young people are so careless. In my day, we respected our elders." The bus lurched forward, and Victoria gripped the pole to steady herself. She kept her eyes low, hoping the woman would eventually direct her storm elsewhere. But the woman was far from done. "I bet you don't even know the value of £10, she continued, jabbing a finger at Victoria's coffee mug. "Carrying coffee like that! What if you spill it on someone? Such recklessness!" Victoria's stomach sank as the inevitable happened. The woman gesticulated with her rage, and the coffee cup flew in the air. Brown liquid danced all over the place and splashed across Victoria's coat. "Ah!" Victoria gasped, clutching the wet fabric. The older woman looked momentarily startled and narrowed her eyes. "Well, that's your fault. You should have been more careful with your bag." Victoria opened her mouth to reply, but another wave of criticism came before she could. "And you are about to say something, aren't you? What could you possibly say?" The bus felt smaller, more oppressive. Victoria shifted backwards, trying to escape the verbal onslaught, but the woman moved with her, blocking the aisle as she prepared to continue her litany of complaints. "She's insane," muttered a man behind Victoria. His voice was low, and Victoria appreciated it but couldn't rely on him yet. "Excuse me," Victoria tried. "Can I just, Excuse you? "Ha!" the woman snapped. "Excuses are worthless. Words mean nothing without respect." Time stretched. The bus stopped at lights, picked up passengers, and Victoria realized with mounting despair that there was nowhere to sit quietly, nowhere to disappear. Every attempt to sidestep the woman only drew more attention. But then a shift began. A young man in a hoodie, who had been scrolling on his phone, finally spoke. "Ma'am, she did nothing to you. Calm down." The older woman huffed. "Calm down? Young people don't even understand the meaning of proper conduct." Another passenger, a middle-aged man in a business suit, chimed in. "Look, everyone here's just trying to get to work. You're making it harder than it needs to be." The woman looked around, suddenly aware that more eyes were on her than on Victoria. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the bus. Victoria, still holding her damp coat, felt a flicker of relief. She straightened her shoulders, no longer shrinking away. "Thank you," Victoria said quietly to the small group of passengers who had spoken. Her voice carried more confidence than she expected. "I'm just trying to get to work. I didn't mean to upset anyone." A ripple of nods and supportive murmurs swept through the bus. Even those who hadn't spoken leaned slightly forward, their attention quietly signaling solidarity. The older woman sculled, suddenly on the defensive. "Well, hi!" "Please," said a woman near the front, folding her arms. "We all just want a peaceful ride. Maybe you should be quiet and let someone else move." Finally, the bus approached Victoria's stop. She maneuvered towards the exit, careful of the coffee stain, but walking tall. As the doors opened, a chorus of quiet applause erupted from the passengers, small but unmistakably warm and approving. Victoria smiled, a mixture of relief and triumph washing over her. "Thank you," she said, glancing back at the group. They waved, offered nods, and gave her the smallest of cheers. The older woman huffed one last time, as if the world had conspired against her sense of propriety, but Victoria was already stepping onto the street, inhaling the morning air with fresh determination. She could feel the city pulse around her, and for the first time that morning, she felt that she could take it on. Some mornings are just tests, and today she had passed.